Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Historical Wars. The scene presents an overview of the Great Jewish Revolt, which lasted from 66 to 73 AD. It describes the major uprising by the Jewish population of Judea against the Roman Empire, highlighting the long-standing grievances that led to the conflict, including economic exploitation, religious tensions, and political dissatisfaction under Roman rule. The climax of the revolt is marked by the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD, an event that significantly impacted Jewish history and identity. Depicts the harsh conditions of Judea under Roman rule, characterized by heavy taxation and the disrespect shown by Roman officials towards Jewish customs. The internal conflicts among Jewish factions are highlighted, stemming from the Roman practice of appointing high priests through bribery. The oppressive actions of Roman governors, particularly Gessius Florus, who plundered the temple treasury and suppressed protests, further incite the anger of the local population. This narrative sets the stage for the growing resentment that fuels the rebellion. In 66 AD, a revolt breaks out in Jerusalem, as Jewish rebels overpower the Roman garrisons stationed in the city. Encouraged by their initial success, the rebels expel the Romans from Judea temporarily. They establish a provisional government, with various factions, including the Zealots and Sicarii, taking control of strategic locations. However, internal divisions arise, weakening the unity of the rebellion. The Zealots, a radical anti-Roman group, push for resistance against Roman rule, while more moderate factions prefer negotiation. This internal strife foreshadows the eventual downfall of the rebellion. In response to the uprising, Emperor Nero dispatched General Vespasian Flavius to Judea in 67 AD with a large Roman force. Vespasian Flavius and his son, Titus Flavius, launched a systematic campaign to crush the revolt, beginning with operations in Galilee. The Roman army, known for its discipline and superior military tactics, swiftly overpowered Jewish resistance in key cities such as Chotapata and Gamla. Thousands of Jewish fighters and civilians were killed or enslaved, while survivors fled to Jerusalem, bolstering the ranks of the defenders. As Vespasian, Flavius continued his campaign in Judea. Political turmoil in Rome following Nero's suicide in 68 AD temporarily stalled Roman operations. Vespasian, Flavius eventually became emperor in 69 AD, leaving his son Titus Flavius in charge of the war against the Jews. With renewed vigor, Titus Flavius advanced toward Jerusalem, which had become the stronghold of the Jewish resistance. The tumultuous atmosphere of Jerusalem during the siege by the Romans in early 70 AD. The city is portrayed as deeply divided, with factions such as the Zealots and the Sicarii engaged in violent clashes against more moderate groups. The internal chaos is palpable, as the Jewish defenders exhibit fierce resistance against the Roman forces surrounding the city. As the siege progresses, the desperation of the population grows, leading to reports of starvation and even cannibalism. The atmosphere is tense, filled with the sounds of conflict and the cries of the desperate inhabitants. By the summer of 70 AD, Roman forces breached Jerusalem's defenses. The final assault resulted in the capture of the Temple Mount, and on the 9th of Av, the Second Temple was set ablaze and destroyed. This catastrophic event marked the end of Jewish autonomy in Judea. The Romans slaughtered tens of thousands of inhabitants, while many others were sold into slavery. The city was razed, and only a small portion of the western wall of the temple complex, now known as the Western Wall, remained standing. The historical siege of Masada, a fortress located atop a remote plateau. Jewish rebels, led by their determination to resist, are seen preparing for the impending Roman assault. The Roman forces, commanded by General Flavius Silva, are shown constructing a massive earthen ramp to breach the fortress walls. Tension builds as the Romans finally enter Masada, only to discover the tragic aftermath of mass suicide chosen by the defenders to avoid capture. This moment is underscored by the somber realization of nearly 1,000 lives lost, as documented by historian Flavius Josephus. The scene captures the desperation and resolve of the Jewish rebels, alongside the relentless advance of the Roman army. The scene depicts the aftermath of the Great Jewish Revolt, highlighting the devastation faced by the Jewish people. The destruction of the Second Temple is central to this narrative, symbolizing the loss of a vital institution in Jewish life. The emergence of Rabbinic Judaism is emphasized, showcasing the shift from temple sacrifices to study and synagogue worship. The scene conveys the increased hostility toward Jews within the Roman Empire, and the subsequent restrictions on their rights and freedoms. Depicts a vast, rugged landscape surrounding the ancient fortress of Masada, a site that stands as a testament to Jewish defiance and determination. The fortress, built on a plateau, features ancient stone walls that rise steeply against the backdrop of a clear blue sky. The rocky terrain is dotted with sparse desert vegetation, including hardy shrubs and cacti, while the sun casts harsh shadows across the uneven ground. The air is still, evoking a sense of solemnity and reflection on the historical events that transpired here. This location symbolizes the struggle and resilience of the Jewish people during the Great Jewish Revolt, serving as a reminder of their fight for freedom. The essence of the scene captures the enduring legacy of the revolt and its influence on future generations, the Great Jewish Revolt, highlighting the struggle for self-determination against imperial rule. It illustrates the impact of the revolt on Jewish identity, religious practices, and the geopolitical landscape of the ancient world. The formidable power of the Roman military is emphasized, showcasing the consequences of challenging Roman authority. The aftermath of the war is portrayed, showing Judea transformed into a Roman province with strict measures imposed to prevent future rebellions. The name Judea is changed to Syria Palestina, symbolizing the Romans' attempt to erase Jewish ties to the land. The Jewish-Roman conflict did not end with the Great Revolt. Subsequent uprisings, including the Kitos War, 115 to 117 AD, and the Bar Kokhba Revolt, further demonstrated the persistent resistance of the Jewish people against Roman rule. However, the destruction of the Second Temple remained the defining moment of the First Revolt, fundamentally altering Jewish religious and cultural life. A scholarly study room filled with ancient texts and scrolls. The walls are lined with dark wood bookshelves, overflowing with leather-bound books and historical manuscripts. A large oak table sits in the center, covered with parchment papers, ink pots, and quills, suggesting ongoing research. A globe stands in one corner, indicating a focus on geography and history. The room is dimly lit by a brass chandelier, casting a warm glow over the rich mahogany furniture and the intricate patterns of a Persian rug on the floor. The atmosphere is one of contemplation and learning, ideal for studying the works of Flavius Josephus and the events of the Great Jewish Revolt. In modern times, archaeological discoveries have provided further insights into the Great Jewish Revolt. Excavations in Jerusalem, Masada, and other sites have uncovered artifacts, fortifications, and evidence of the destruction caused by the Roman siege. These findings corroborate many of the details recorded by Josephus and help historians reconstruct the dramatic events of the period. Jewish revolt was a pivotal moment in Jewish and Roman history, illustrating the high cost of resistance against imperial domination. While the rebellion ended in tragedy for the Jewish people, it also reinforced their cultural and religious identity, ensuring that their traditions and faith would endure despite centuries of persecution and exile. The memory of the revolt continues to be a significant aspect of Jewish historical consciousness, reminding future generations of the resilience and sacrifices of their ancestors. Please subscribe my channel and press bell icon for next video. Bundle of thanks for watching.